From the Spike Studio, I Do Notes review set. This is the HTC EVO 4G LTE from Sprint. Talk about a damn fine device. Welcome everybody. Yep, you're looking at the HTC EVO 4G LTE. Let's talk about it. Had it in my hands now for a couple days. Wanted to give you an overview. Pretty straightforward. This is probably the thinnest, lightest, here's the actual phone. Thinnest, lightest, wonderful piece of thing. And for those that had the EVO before, have no fear. Let's cover it first. There's still a kickstand. So yeah, most important thing in the world is a kickstand, right? Let's talk about the specs that's on this one. I'll give you an overview of everything that's been going on with it. 9mm thick, ridiculously thin, ridiculously ready to go. First thing I noticed is how much lighter it was. It does not have a removable battery, so you're stuck with that. It does have an expandable card slot inside though. So we'll start there. What do we got? We've got, like I said, 9mm, 16 gig internal memory, Bluetooth 3.0 connectivity. It has the hands-free stuff. They say you get 7.5 hours of talk time out of this thing. I don't talk that much on the phone. Said this the other day on another review on the verbatim USB charger, but guess what? It's been sticking almost near 100%. It's been sitting there all day long. Loving it the way it's going. It's got the 8-megapixel camera on the back. It's got another camera on the front. Using the front camera, it does have the new Ice Cream Sandwich OS. So you're able to use the facial recognition unlock. You know how important that is to look at your phone to get it to unlock with a pin backup. Other specs that's inside. We'll talk about the performance. We'll actually fire it up. GPS is in there, of course. The Wi-Fi is in there. It's going to have the LTE capability. If you don't have LTE in your area, which you probably don't, turn it off. Otherwise, you're just going to kill yourself across the board. You're going to need that for some of the advanced features they talk about with the device itself. You can hook it up to all the different emails you want to do. It now has HTC Watch built in. HTC Watch is their streaming service. You're able to grab some high quality videos and actually stream them down with some new technology to actually make it a little bit better. It has Beats audio stuff built in. Don't know what the heck that means because you're not going to get tons out of this little bitty device, but they say Beats audio is in there. It weighs 4.7 ounces, far lighter. It's lighter than even the Torch 2 that we're looking at in the BlackBerry realm, this touchscreen. You can see the size difference. Ridiculous, isn't it? Right there. It's about 2.72 inches across, 5.31 inches high. It has a 2,000 milliamp lithium battery inside of it. So what you get out of that one is great battery life, and that's what I've been having so far. It runs on both the 4G LTE and 3G networks. It only comes in the box is just the charger. I don't even need to open it. A book and a charger. No extra SD card. You got to buy it on your own because of the built-in memory that's inside of it, as well as it doesn't have any other features, extra battery stuff, whatever. They're just coming out with a ton of cases for it, so that's where you're going to be with that. Multitasking. Very cool. You're able to run tons of things. So we're going to skip ahead. Lock screen runs the new Ice Cream Sandwich, as you can see. The lovely circle is there. It only has 3 buttons on the bottom, which is different than the other ones before. It has a back, it has a home, and it has a multi-tab. The multi-tab, which will fire up, allows you to scroll through all the things that you have open that are on there and then easily select one that you want to go to. And that's just the settings page, which we'll look at later, but that's just the settings. So it lets you jump around between those. You can also close things. You do have folders on your home screen, so you can now sort things into folders. So far, I can tell you right now, this is why Apple didn't want this out the door. I have my i stuff, iPads, iPod Touches, everything else. I have the BlackBerries, we have the Androids, we have the Playbooks. They didn't want this out the door. This thing cruises. So you have multitasking also. So you're able to actually get on the web as well as make a call at the same time. Voice input. It has the new Android 4 voice input. Talk as long as you want, as much as you want, into pretty much anything for prolonged times. It's very slick. I've been playing around with the voice dictation now. And you can even then go back and re-tap words that it maybe didn't pick up correctly from inside of it. I'm loving that. The 4G network, I already said, it's not everywhere. You'll get there, but as soon as it does, you're going to have some pretty damn fast speeds. Sprint ID. Sprint ID is a silly bunch of packs that they throw on your phone. What do they have? 4, I'm going to read. Entertainment ID, socially connected, health and fitness, and business productivity. Whatever. Let's skip to the specs. 16 gig internal memory, 32 gig expandable with micro HD cards. So you got the micro cards that are in there. A gig of RAM. It's got a dual processor. It's got the Snapdragon inside of it. I can tell you this. After I did a ton of stuff yesterday and ran it for a while, it got warm. Not hot, but it got warm. You can feel definitely that it's running through some processor stuff because of the great quality you get inside of it with the cameras and everything else. It's got a micro USB port on the side. Let me find it. It's above the red line. Micro USB port on the side. What's also cool is when you're ready to take a picture, It has a dedicated shutter button, so you're able to quickly take a picture. It supposedly snaps pictures blazingly fast, is what I've heard and what I've read so far. And I've seen the result. I was taking pictures and I was so shocked at how fast it was actually taking the pictures. I was fully surprised, actually. Full HD 1080p video. You can actually change it. So when I was playing with this, and we'll talk about it a little bit, we'll open up the camera. And you open up the settings a little different now. There's little settings at the top. So we'll bring down the settings. I can go into the camera I want. I can go into resolution, video quality. So inside we have HD. Right now that's the default. It came at 1280 by 720, but there's a setting above. Full HD, 1920 by 1080. So as much space as you have on a card or whatever you want to do, you've got it. You can go all the way down to MMS size of 176 by 144. Like I said, you also have built-in, which is interesting, like the Instagram stuff, I've got built-in filters. So I can actually go in and filter and do this stuff. They had a few before, but now there's a few more that you're able to do. No big deal. It comes with no effect based as the standard. Zooming is just as easy as sliding across the bottom. So if I slide, you can see the zooming going on there, and we'll slide. I'm doing it backwards, so it may not be the most perfect thing in the world. There we go. So there's the zooming going on there. That's pretty quick. And to take a picture, I don't know if we're going to get the sound effect, but we'll take one real quick. That fast. So it was pretty darn fast with that. 1.5 gigahertz Snapdragon processor, dual core built inside. We already talked about the port. Oh, accelerometer, proximity sensor, and light sensor. All three sensors are there. The music player, you're going to get MP3s, you're going to get WMAs, you're going to get AACs, you're going to get WAV files, you're going to get MP4s and M4Vs for your video stuff, AVIs, 3GP. It goes on and on and on. Be able to do pretty much anything you want to do. Lack of bloatware. Now this is a big one. Another reviewer had it. Shout out to, who is this, Bayou Rose, who actually highlighted it first that I saw, said there is no Sprint bloatware on here. And they're right. All the stuff you had on the EVO, and I had the EVO and I sold it back to them when I bought this one on purpose, is they got rid of it. So you don't get the Sprint NASCAR unless you want it, the Sprint NFL, Telenav, all that. It's all non-removable stuff. The one game they had on there, the Nova thing, whatever, is gone. So you're able to actually get pretty much ice cream sandwich, Android 4.0 ready to go. Loved it. I liked having an SD card slot. I was a little scared at first they didn't have an expandability, but until I went and looked at it some more. So far, I'm getting used to the buttons. I like it. The lack of 4G is no big deal. Larger size is good. I'm not burning battery as much as I thought. I was able to update all the apps that I had before. Oh, another feature it has inside, I'll select the button for you, is NFC technology. Those not familiar, near field communication. Google Wallet. So what you have is the Google Wallet capability. What you're able to do then is walk up with your phone. If you enter a Citi MasterCard, prepaid card, or anything else, put it near the pay system at the vendor, and guess what? You're now able to actually pay with your phone. Something you should know is they're giving you $10 in free credit if you set up a prepaid card. Set up a prepaid card. You don't have to put money on it, but now you get $10. Also, little thing, actually I got this from my brother of all places because he bought it the same time I did and he actually clicked it first, is Dropbox. So Dropbox, of course, is an app you can get on all the devices, but when you actually initialize it on here, you get 20 gig of storage with Dropbox. If you have an existing account, it'll add to it. If you have a new account, you've got 20 gig. It says 24 months. I'm not sure what they're going to do. Performance-wise, settings, pretty darn fast. Everything you do, settings-wise, maps, scrolling. I was able to do quick sync with the Bluetooth, get it on the Wi-Fi easily, no issues there. It has airplane mode, of course. The GPS is on. The Google Voice integration is there because of Sprint. They actually do that as well. What else would I want to tell you about it so far? Pretty much fun. The ICS, the ice cream sandwich stuff is amazing. I never played with the 3D phone, the EVO 3D. It looked crappy to me. Oh, this is a geek toy. But up here where you have the date and time, if you click it, it brings up this wonderful, where is it? Oh, there it is, the globe. And it'll show you the date and times and temperatures all over the world. If you want, I can only set up 2 right now to give you a demo. But you're able to see the temperatures and date and time and scroll wherever you want around the world. It's a geek toy, but you know what? Pretty darn slick. Other fun stuff. Anything else that I can think of that's built in? Let's talk about what I've liked about it so far. I have liked the thinness. I have liked the weight. I have liked the performance so far. I have liked the one-click camera ability. The front camera is not the fanciest in the world. It worked just fine. No problems there. I like the integration with the NFC, the Google Wallet. I think that's cool. It's about time they got it. I love the video quality. I've played a couple video files. Looked fantastic. I usually wear headphones with these and not the speakerphone. So take that how you want. It also depends on the recording quality that you're playing back. Keep that in mind as you do it. The screen itself, 720 by 1080, makes everything crisp and clear. What are they saying? nearly as many pixels as the iPhone, whatever. I think it looks just as good. You may be able to tell a difference. You may not. Get over it. Battery life. This charged this morning, and I don't know if you can see the battery life up there. Almost full. You know, you can barely see it's blurry. And I charged that this morning. What have I done all day? I've made a couple phone calls. I hooked it to Bluetooth. I've done some social stuff. You know, Foursquare, Instagram, played around with Path, all that stuff, food spotting. Follow me on those if you need to. I've loaded up some other virtual wallet systems, and I've had a couple phone calls. And in saying all that, I didn't have it plugged in but one time earlier just to get some pictures off. I wanted to make sure the SD card was backed up, and it did really, really well. So it didn't get hot again after that. Most of the temperature that I found was when I was actually constantly loading the apps and getting things moving and going, and it was cranking away. That's when I saw the little bit of warmth coming from the back of this thing. So overall, thumbs up on this one. This is the HTC EVO 4G LTE from Sprint, hot out the door a couple days ago. If you don't have it, get your hands on it. If you're on Sprint, upgrade. I've got a link in the notes for you to take a look at. Go grab it yourself. It's from Amazon. You can get it there, and I actually found out it was almost cheaper from Amazon, which is the most bizarre thing. You can do the activation. They'll ship it straight to your door. You do the activation. You save the goofy Sprint in-store $30 activation fee they charge you. You get the lovely box that has just the two things in it, and you're off and running. If you have any questions, leave a note in the blog comments or on the video on YouTube. And otherwise, I'll have another review of another device coming up here very shortly.